research has shown that 64% of those elderly people in Uganda are living below the poverty line with little to no income at all and no access to healthcare or social security services.
I am Mr. Nyamtale Kafozi. I'm welcoming my visitors to my house. I'm the age of 92.
Came here to meet another extraordinary elderly man who is helped a lot by SSL. Behind us here, that's where you're living?
That's right.
You live by yourself?
Yes.
Okay. So you decided to get involved with SSL because what did you feel you needed? Did you feel you needed to have people to talk to, or health-wise, food, money?
Well, as you know, as we are old, then there have been these many parties of old people. So I said, why can't I also meet these people in the SSL so that we can have one experience, have some changes and some views, and talk to them and they talk to me.
Okay. What's the best thing that you like? Do you like the exercising? Do you like the food? Do you like just the talking to other elderly people?
Well, I think talking to the people is better for me. Food, of course, is necessary, and sleeping is also good.
All right, so for you, what do you think you need in order to just be sustained in the next few years?
I think I need a good residence, that's the house.
Okay.
Then I need some food, a diet to be up to date. Then, of course, clothing and others will come. But also I'll need, I think, a little commercial business. After
Leaving Frank Xavier, I'm now on my way to meet the next person who is helped by SSL. And a service like Simil Senior Life charity is imperative. It's needed. Some of them probably don't even have a way of making any income. They probably don't have anyone else to talk to, like Frank was saying. So I'm really intrigued to find out what I'm going to see at this next place that I'm going to. Hello.
You are welcome.
Hello. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hello.
This is an old man, has been here, he's sick, he can't stand up, he can't walk normally. Carry him from inside up to here. Even if rain comes, if there is nobody, the rain has to beat him until
someone comes and helps him.
We normally carry him from the house and we put him here.
Yeah.
So, and sometimes we find the wife is here. She normally works contractors and whatever. You should call him to do some job for you. She's ready. Yeah. But this man normally stays here alone. And even if rain comes, anything comes, he can't stand, he can't do anything, everything is done from here.
Of course, you've been going to SSL, the Simil Senior Life Center. How has that helped you?
Iwe walikuija kule Karagu, musenta yita SSL. Iwe ugeroziremwe kuyambira muki.
Ngoba magezi gakyo kusupamba kumpo biyambi, kintu kwetaga chiona nkoni.
She's talking that she has benefited much from SSL.
Okay.
Because much as she goes there, she gets relieved, because when she's here, she gets a lot of stress.
Yeah.
Because looking at this one, if she doesn't want, but at least SSL has assisted her in eating, feeding, and the SSL has trained her to cook for him and the things to change his diet, and she's very happy to be with SSL.
How is she feeling right now that she's crying?
She's crying because of the challenges she's meeting, she's getting. That whenever the sun comes, she normally wants to beat her. She wants to chase her away from the house. That is backbiting her like a dog. That's what she is.
So essentially, SSL is trying to address as many problems that the elderly people of Uganda are facing. It's not just about monetary. It's not just about their minds. It's not even just about their physical thing, but it's also about how they're living back home and trying to help them so that they could live in peace. After spending some time with the elderly individuals yesterday and witnessing some of the harsh and difficult conditions that they live in, it became apparent to me that without SSL, some of these elderly people would have no one to turn to. So I've decided to have a chat with one of the co-founders of SSL, Mildred Wamara. Mildred, thank you for speaking with me.
Thank you.
So firstly, can you tell me a bit more about what you do in SSL?
Okay, I run day-to-day life of SSL centers. I help people to exercise, to eat healthily, and other projects like art and craft, and talking, remembering how we used to be a long time ago.
Yeah.
Basically to fight loneliness in old people.
Okay, so your role in SSL is a project director and you're also a health professional. And based on what you've just said to me, you're not only tackling some of the issues that the elderly people face, but you're also incorporating healthy lifestyles, encouraging them to eat right, to eat regularly, and also to exercise. Why do you think that's important in the development and maintenance of an elderly person's life?
Not eating well can aggravate things like diabetes, high blood pressure. So that's why we come to center to teach them what kind of food they should eat, what kind of food should help in living a healthy life, what kind of food they should eat to, if they had diabetes, what kind of food they can eat, if they had high blood pressure, what kind of food they can eat, and also it helps the whole welfare of a person. We help them to exercise. If you don't exercise, as we all know, your muscles will might completely stop. So in this way, when we exercise, we get the body moving, which can help them to actually even socialize, to even get out of the house, to go where they're supposed to go rather than staying in the house. The art and craft helps in a way that will stop dementia. It gets their personality out. If they start doing art and craft, they start imagining things, what they want to do, then it helps them to actually do what they want to do.
Amazing. Thank you very much, Mildred. Tell me about SSL and why you believe that this service was needed in Uganda.
There's a lot of reasons really, but like for example, the first time when I came, I saw things I've never seen before, like seeing old people in the streets begging for money, and I was asking questions like how. But prior to that, one of the directors, Mildred, was telling me a story about her mother and how she was inspired. So by coincidence, because I work in so many social projects, she went deeper and deeper telling me the crisis. So when I came the first time, as I said earlier on, I thought, you know what, that sounds like a good idea. Tell me more.
Yeah.
And I want to develop the idea further. Eventually when I came, I thought, okay, whilst I'm in Uganda, I'm going to take the opportunity to research about the problem. And we organized a team and we went on the ground speaking to the old people. So I went around the country and I was inspired more based on the things that I saw. I'm sure you've been here as well and you've spoken to some people and you've seen it yourself. So when we went back to the UK, I thought, you know what, this is the time to do it.
Yeah.
We can make a change, we can make a difference. The problems are quite wide and different. Some is about financial, some is about plain loneliness, no one to talk to. And it's about a culture as well, looking at African people trying to do the Western culture. As you know, in the Western world, there's a social system that look after old people. But in Africa, there's no system at all.
Yeah.
So if your kids ain't looking after you, then it means you're in big
pretty
trouble.
much left by yourself.
Yeah. So for me, having an opportunity and having the knowledge to understand how the Western system works, and also having enough knowledge about Africa, I felt like I'm in a better position to, you know, to make a balance and see what's wrong.
SSL at the present moment is helping those older people. Are you trying to also reach out to their families and putting those values back into them? As you said, it's all about looking after your older people.
If we look about things, people learn things in different ways. It's either from school or from the media. And as you know, Africa, there's a lot of things, there's pollution has happened with so much diversity coming on. But however, we coming on and creating a platform like the launch that we're doing, we're just trying to create awareness.
Okay.
And as you can imagine, somebody can see us talking about this, that can make them think twice, like, okay,
what am I doing?
What am I doing?
Okay.
Have I
Right.
looked after my mother? Have I looked
Yeah.
at my grandmother? So it's not only about the older people solving their problems, because we can't, there are too many, but creating the awareness, even the government as well can look into them and think, oh, maybe we can make a change.
We can do more.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
we're non-political, so we're not there to tell
Yeah.
the government what to do. We're just there to work with everybody, whether it's the government, it's churches, it's individuals. But the main thing here is to make sure we highlight the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, and reach out to people who haven't got no voice.
Right. So it's definitely a worthy cause. I'm sure a lot of the people who are watching would agree with me.
Yeah.
And it's something that is admirable as well.
Yeah.
So what role would you say God has placed in influencing you to actually make this come to pass?
I do believe there's God in it, because, for example, the fact that there was just a chance 1 in a million meeting with Mildred.
Right.
And the fact that I work in so many social projects and stuff. By the way, I'm very multi-skilled. I work in politics, journalism, communications, social issues, things that affect the ethnic minorities. So the fact that I met somebody coming from a background like that, it was not meant to be, but that was just a one-off. I think God had a reason for that to happen. And she had the idea, but she when she met me, she thought, oh, you know what, you really inspire me with the work that you do. And then the conversation started.
From that,
so
okay.
that coincidence of meeting through a friend of a friend, I think there was a reason behind it.
Okay, amazing. So we've got a lot of people who are going to be watching this whole program, and they're also going to see the launch when it happens.
Yeah. What
do you want the viewers at home, particularly Ugandan or African nationals, what do you want them to take away from it?
It's two things. The Ugandans that are outside the country, I want them to understand that they can be enjoying things from a Western point of view,
right?
And they, by neglecting their culture, they're also making a big mistake.
Right.
As I said earlier on, if you live in the Western world and you see an old person, the first thing that you do is to call the social services, because they cover that.
Yeah.
So a lot of people from Africa, when they come to the Western world, they also get engulfed into this kind of Western way of things. So now they're thinking there are two dynamics here. Your mother is in Africa, your grandmother is in Africa, but they haven't got no support. So it's all about people understanding their values and understanding who they are. So those who are in Uganda and who are not taking care of their parents, I mean, the whole point is just to highlight, to say, think again.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're giving them an opportunity to think again, and highlighting how difficult it is. And we do a lot more promotions, we do adverts, just to highlight the problem. Because someone might go to the big cities and think my mother is okay.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's not even about the financial. They could be sending money, but it's about loneliness.
Yeah.
You can imagine yourself, if you stay in the house all day, your kids can be giving you money, but it's not even about the money. Sometimes about social, having the people from the same age group that you can talk to. Yeah, so it's a lot of things really. It's a lot.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So are there any involvement or encouragement of churches as well? Being an organization that is really aiming to make a difference in people's lives, are you also looking to maybe involve certain community key groups, for example churches, in really helping to spread the word about this and also make what SSL is doing much bigger and much louder?
Very true. As I said, we're non-political, and the main passion, or what we're mainly driven about, is just to make it aware to as many people as possible.
Yeah.
So if it's about the government that want to come and work with us, we're very open. If it's about churches, if it's about other organizations, we're willing to talk to them and see how we can collaborate, because it ain't about us.
Yeah.
This is a charity. We're not making money out of
Yeah.
it, but it's about the people and changing how people look at old people. And everybody should be reminded that everyone's going to get old.
Yeah.
So it's in our interest, all of us. You could be laughing at somebody old today, but every time you celebrate your birthday, you're going, you know.
You're getting older, rather. Is
You're
how I
getting
like.
older.
You're getting wiser.
You get yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Amazing. So with the scale of what you're doing, Simba, I can only imagine, especially since it's a first for you doing something like this in Uganda,
Yeah.
you've probably faced a few challenges. Can you tell me what some of those are?
First of all, I don't even know where to start, but I'll just tell you randomly. Number one, the language. Number two, there's a wrong perception in African people. There's this culture dependency syndrome.
Yes.
There's this culture of people are used to getting things from the Western world.
Right.
So being a black guy and you come to Africa and you try to tell people how to live their life, of course you're not going to be popular. But I think it's something that they need to be re-educated, that it's not all about looking at Western countries. The same way Western countries raise money, it can be done in Africa.
Yeah.
So it's a challenge just to work with people who've got a very complete different mindset, and then trying to get people to help volunteers is a very big challenge. Everybody in Uganda, when you call them to come and do a job, you clearly tell them this is a charity, but they still expect to be paid.
To be paid. Right.
So just making people understand that it's humanity, we need to help each other. It's not in Africa, it's a very difficult problem. Then number two, you get other organizations, they don't see that we're working for charity. They think it's a business and
Right.
they see competition. Then there's a lot of other political issues, but again...
And that's far from what you guys are about.
Exactly, we're not all about that. So we just want to make sure to, the politicians that we ain't a threat. We are not intending to do anything. All our focus is on what our constitution says. It's about helping people.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
essentially, arguably,
Yeah.
or rather, obviously, if you're helping a particular section of the society,
Yeah.
in this case the elderly,
Yeah.
you're going to improve the lives of others.
Exactly.
And there's also going to be more things that is going to happen from
Yeah.
that are positive. I remember speaking to one of the elderly people
Yeah.
yesterday,
Yeah.
Francis. He's
Yeah.
at 92 years old telling me that he wants to open
Exactly.
a business, and that's inspiring.
Yeah, I can explain that further as well. Uganda's got some people with loads of money, but the culture of giving back, it is still a big problem.
Okay.
As you can see, like when you hang out in these communities, you can see a multi-million pound house you've never seen in Europe, and you go down the road, you see the poorest person you've ever seen
Right,
before.
right.
So just to try to make people understand that we can share the wealth that you have. When you die, you're not going to go with it. So you might as
Yeah.
well just do something nice and help
help
fellow
others.
human beings.
Okay.
Yeah. So I just realized it ain't about the charity, but it's about changing the whole culture, and this is the biggest challenge we have.
And speaking of changing the whole culture, Simba, can you tell me how, as SSL, you would like to change the culture of other charities from just handing out, but also, actually giving people skills, knowledge and abilities that can help them in the future?
Exactly. Like at SSL, I think one of the challenges, I'll answer your question, but it's also related to the previous question as well. Because I say to you, people, they've got a dependency culture, a sense of entitlement. When people see a charity, they see money coming in.
Right.
But we are coming from a different angle. We believe that instead of giving people fish, you can teach them how to fish. So we
yes.
want these old people having activities to do and generating income. And from a political point of view, from a country point of view, it's important that if we create projects that are in Uganda, we're also creating employment for people local. And as I said earlier on, talking about Western aid, it does not come for free. There's no free lunch.
Right.
It's an illusion where people believe that people are just coming to donate money. So we are trying to do things that, look, whatever we do, it has to be for the benefit of Ugandan people.
Amazing.
Yeah.
All right. Thank
Yeah.
you for speaking with me.
Thank you so much.
For Simil Senior Life charity, and I am with the elderly people as they complete a 5-kilometer walk into town and back to where the event is taking place. It's clear that some of these elderly people probably don't do a lot of exercise or don't walk a lot, or they probably struggle to walk sometimes, and the sun is high, the road is busy, the place is absolutely buzzing, but nothing will deter them from supporting the charity that has clearly changed their lives.
As we are going to take up the next slot of inviting Simba and Medlin, but for now, this slot is yours. You're welcome, sister. Yeah.
Hello everyone, my name is JJ and I'm part of the SSL team. And it's a great pleasure to be here to celebrate such an amazing event with you all.
Asemerere muno kuba nenywe mkolonga guno gwa launching and fundraising of our SSL.
Since arriving on Monday, I have seen for myself the amazing work the SSL has done, and from your big smiles this morning, I think you all agree. Next up in our schedule, we have the story of SSL told by the directing manager,
Kuruba SSL and Ognuwe Asimbra and
project director Mildred Wamala,
then Miss Simba, the managing director.
They've worked very hard to make this event such a big success. So I hope you'll give them a big round of applause.
The managing director and the project director, I request that you come over here as you give your speech. You're welcome.
1, 2. Thank you so much for everybody who turned up today. I know there's so many charities around, but today is our day, so we will focus on ourselves. But every charity that's working, you need to support it, because at the end of the day, it's all about supporting the people. SSL started a year ago. We had one person, but today we're excited. We've got more people, and more people are coming up to sign up. Yes, there have been so many challenges, but we've strived on, and we'll still continue. There have been a lot of criticism. There have been a lot more questions about who we are, what our intentions, but we come out today in public to make sure.
Yeah, nasima kuzaba SSL na gabango SSL inatandika miaka
all those that have supported us, and all of you who have registered and who remain with us, I'm sure your question today is, where do we go from here? Before I go further, I'm going to ask Mildred, who's our project director, who's got experience in working with old people. She's a nurse with so much experience. I'm going to ask her to come and explain the experience from her mother's point of view. That experience for how she saw her mother suffering is what inspired why she's working with you today. So I'll pass on the mic to her to explain the story about her mother.
Wonderful.
Amabara gange muhulire ninye Mildred Wamara ndi nzarwa ya Toro nkulire Mtoro obumbaira heru nyina nyobere akana abona muno ati bikoyireho kyonka obwakaba nabona abantu abahakyaro
free intro
Our first winner is a wonderful young lady, she's 16. Wonderful DVD player. We want to sing with it. Oh, I'm going to be a call with a collaborator. I'm going to sorry a DVD and sound much on DVD. I request my brother, Silver Brace, hand over the DVD to the guest of honor, and then we hand it over to our winner. We just stand there for some wonderful caption. Omusinguzi wetu okubanza bamukwasa example ekya DVD player ogwasemerere n'omuntu ono muhengaliza amaani. Of course tuli beyingi tali omuntu onango abate twalina example webale muno gera olole ebisani osemerere
tukusange enkaho baliza akazindalo omutima mukesa kwawo
kama wali kwasiye nyoni sinyambe baza kusora kunyelendera kundeta hapa tukulugonza kwangu
yobera msewewe yobera ona yongera emyaka ozina mosi bana okera emyaka hapo kawa mzee sasa yote hapo sina mama mzee bonus amachage kwa video hapo kuenga ni sana msiku solo yongera mzee
Going forward from here, some of the things, we'll just give you a bit of highlights of what we intend to do in the future. We're trying to raise money because we know that some of you struggle to come to the centers, and as we've been on the ground, we discovered that some people can't even walk to the centers. So with your continued support, if we can manage to get vehicles that can come and pick you up from home and drop you in the centers nearest to you.
Kugonza kwena sala kwa kimungu at least batunga yonke motoka kwa kimungu babeija nibabiha maka ganyu kubaicha centers. Twakiterenga no kwikiriza kwa mantu terenga zamani tumanya kutokubaye.
We are very much aware about people having problem with getting food and support at home.
Akimanye kimungu bengi halinywe temere kyokulya lunti temere busagike mukoko na muno byokulya right.
And that's why we are saying you can see that there's NTV, there's a crew from the UK. We are as part of that drive to make people aware, and when we go and knock on their offices, people know what we are talking about. So we're using you as an example to say this is the people we've been talking about.
Abantu mkola abantu abakwasire kamera ni abebisani abo tuno aba NTV tuna abantu kuga Bungereza mu UK so namanyisa ngo batwa bine bisani wundi videos bakwasira makuru kagono obusagiti paka ntuko ndio mwengali zamani
So please work with us, keep supporting us. I'm sure, you know, it's actually better to have people who are making an effort than to have people who are not doing nothing at all. I'm not going to take much of your time, but today I'm just going to thank you, all of you, for coming up and believing in us. The LC1, the District Councillor, Resti Belinda, and so many other people that have come up. I've met quite a few. Unfortunately, we couldn't reach out to all of you, but we really appreciate you coming today.
Takwenda kuwasisira bwire bwingi n'abaza bingi bete kikulu ngwasimirire muno nasima chairperson local council wana betuli nasima ba leaders nywena mwebale kubekerezamu kandi mwebale kubaha mukolo guno.
Also thanks to the TV station, to the people that have come to volunteer from the UK. Let's work together. One of my saying, people that know me, I love to say, SSL is for the people, by the people, to the people.
Wow. Nasima muno timu egezere kuga UK uli Bungereza na muno nabebisanyi bya TV n'abasiba yangu kubebale obusagiki ubo nakola abantu for the people abantu n'ebindi bikongera habali mukigamba abantu kanyibera kandi.
So now I will pass on to somebody from Europe who's just going to explain to you how Europeans raise money, which we can also do ourselves without relying on other people.
So you're welcome.
So I'll leave you, remain strong, and always remember, even though those who are registered who supported us, there've also been people who've tried to bring us down. I don't understand, because they bring us down. It's a real problem in the community. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Keep believing. Change is coming. Thank you.
Asante sana.
Because one of the main points is basically what Simil stands for. It's healthy growth, sustainability, community, and collaboration. One of the things we have to realize when we talk about foreign money is there's not a lot of it, and there's a lot of people who would like to get it. That is extra important that we notice what Simba said about teaching people how to fish. Because if you get money this year, there's no guarantee you'll get it again next year. One of the challenges we should start looking forward is how to invest in this community and make sure that it can sustain itself in 5, 10, actually throughout next future. It's one of the things that Simil is so good at, that it engages with the local community. And it's been shown again and again that when you engage with the local community, they get empowered, they get more prosperous, and they get more self-sufficient. Basically, what we want to do is, instead of just getting resources that might disappear next year, we want to invest in the farmers, we want to invest in the local businesses, the local tailors, instead of relying on something that might disappear again. And if we look at the growth of how fast SSL has been able to grow and spread, why should borders be a problem from SSL? It can be copied in other places around the world because we all share the values that elderly are an important part of our community. There are money out there, but it's very important not to rely on it. Make sure you invest back into your community, and that is why Simil is one of the most interesting organizations I've seen in a long time.
It is now the end of the day, and the launch for Simil Senior Life charity has officially ended. The sun has gone down. The people are now taking everything down as the last droves of the elderly people are taken to their separate homes, which are dotted all across Fort Portal. And it has been nothing short of an eye-opening event and an experience. First of all, just because I am in a completely different country, in Uganda, where there are so many different things going on. There's so much richness to the country, but there are also so many issues that need to be dealt with. But beyond them being needed to be dealt with, you've got Africans who are coming together and saying, this is something that we see as an issue and we want to resolve it. Throughout the week, I have met many incredible people, from Patrick, who has really made the way for a lot of these elderly people and reached out to them and told them that this is a service that is available to them completely free. I've met Mildred, someone who was inspired by her own mother's issues, and Simba, a foreigner who has decided to come together with Mildred to provide this type of service.